Time for your pattern predictions. Meteorologist Danielle Noyce here. A couple seconds ago when I hit record, I said, time for your pattern predictions. Sometimes the Mass accent comes out at the most random times. You can get the 14-day forecast in our free weather app, and we know you have so many choices for weather apps. This is the only one you're going to need. So give it a download. Let us know what you think. This is the why behind the forecast. This video will explain what may change in the coming couple of weeks as you take a look at the weather app. Now, what we're going to show you is the temperature difference from normal to start. The blues, the greens, cooler than average temperatures. The oranges, the reds, representing warmer than average air. And you notice there's a lot in place across the country, and it will expand east here to New England over the course of the middle part of this week. And then after that, a quick shot of cold comes in. So it doesn't last long. Then we come back up to near seasonable levels for this upcoming weekend, the 17th and 18th. But look at what's waiting in the wings. Cold air from the Midwest all the way back down to the southeastern United States. Temperatures running about 20 to 30 degrees below average through the middle part of the week. We get into some of this cold air as well. A lot of widespread 20s, teens in northern New England. And do you notice, even though there's some warmth that builds back in, nope, we get another shot of cold that comes in for the last week of January and will likely linger into the beginning of February as well. So when you look at the daytime high temperatures, and keep in mind this is a New England-wide average, the warmest period is right on through the middle part of this week. And then we get that shot of cold for Friday. We come back up to near seasonable levels for the weekend, and then the cold blasts back in, and a colder than average stretch is likely through the end of the month and again into the start of February as well. That translates to overnight lows that will generally be running in the teens, even some single digits possible during that extended period. But the next few days, 20s and even some 30s for overnight lows, and then that one little blip Saturday night into Sunday morning too. What does that mean in terms of storm threat and windows that we are keeping an eye on? Let's look at the jet stream, because that is the river of air high in the sky. Helps to steer storms, acts like a thermostat too. So if you're on the northern side of the jet stream, it's cold, south side, it's typically warmer. So we get these dips that come in a little bit of a more amplified pattern than we've seen here over the course of the end of this week with the storm center coming in, several waves actually that will go by. And then another one you notice heading into this weekend. So a window for Saturday night into Sunday, something we will watch, but it does keep moving. Then another little disturbance comes in. Then the flow, you do notice, turns a little more zonal. That means west to east with fast moving disturbances. Big surprise here that we've seen so many times so far this winter. Clippers, but notice I've stopped things on the 25th, jet stream right over us too. So a window either side of that, the 24th, the 25th, and potentially into the 26th with another one that comes by. Then this dip, this trough carves out, and that's the cold air that's in place right on through the end of the month. So in terms of percent chance of precipitation, that is one thing in our app I think you're going to see bump up in the coming days. It's hard to pinpoint, of course, the exact timing of these disturbances and what that means and translates to in terms of percent chance. But through the middle part of the week, there will likely be some showery areas around, rain and snow the farther north you go. And then on Friday, with that lingering storm off to our east, we'll watch the timing and track of that. We talked about that in Insights. Then we bump things back up for late Saturday into Sunday. Another system likely comes by. Then as the cold snaps back in, it's cold enough we have a relatively drier stretch for the start and maybe even to the middle part of next week. There could be some fast moving clippers and some snow showers around. Then it bumps back up again, heading into that 23rd, 24th time frame, and likely another disturbance after that around the 26th. So that is the time frame. I'd actually put the window like the 23rd to the 26th for a couple disturbances that may come by with enough cold air in place. It could mean some accumulating snow. So precipitation forecast, this is at least over the next 10 days. Fairly quiet across a lot of the country. The Pacific Northwest, little bullseye. There'll be some rain across the southeast and from the Great Lakes into northern New England, and maybe slightly above average in terms of precipitation. What does that mean in terms of snowfall? Well, with that blast of cold coming in, actually a couple reinforcing shots of it, we may get some accumulating snow that extends farther southward than we've already seen so far this winter, extending into portions of the Tennessee River Valley and into the Appalachians, where we've had it so far too, from the Midwest to the Great Lakes, and pretty good agreement amongst all of the consensus that 1 to 2 feet of snow accumulation is likely over the next 2-week period across northern New England. The farther south you come, I do think it will depend on tracks of the system. We will likely have some accumulating snow, but it doesn't look like any huge blockbusters, at least right now. As we get this little surge of warmth that comes back in this weekend, there'll be some storminess around, and when the cold air snaps back in, we can likely get some snow on the backside of these systems. So that's something we'll watch closely. Speaking of watching, you can watch this on TV. On your smart TV, open up the YouTube app, search 1 Degree Outside Network. If you're on your computer, tablet, not around a TV, you can always watch us at 1degreeoutside.live, literally on anytime, anywhere, 24/7, New England's only weather network.